Hey y'all, it's your girl Denise, and Shay Chronicles is about to get started. Well, here we are, episode 1. Welcome to Shay Chronicles. I'm your host, Denise Thompson, and I am the writer of Shay Chronicles, the blog, and now the host of the damn podcast. I'm so proud of myself. You know what? Bear with me. First of all, let me just explain something. I'm in the middle of getting dressed, and I have to do my podcast like this where I'm comfortable and I'm in a good state. And the best time is in the morning. The kids are still quiet. I have some time to myself, and I'm able to kind of recap over some shit. So this morning, I just took a shower. I saged my house. I did my praise and worship. And I was about to put some lashes on because I was trying to be cute today with this lovely, the eyeliner that's magnetic. But after I put the damn eyeliner on, I lost a lash. And I know that's happened to some of y'all, so bear with me. I'm going to take it off, but ignore it. Even though I can't, you ignore it. Back to the blog and podcast. So, launching the series, Jesus Loves Me. If you have not read it, I'm sure you can still benefit from the podcast, but I highly recommend that you go back and you read the blog and get caught up so you can truly get all the benefits of what the podcast has to offer. Our first episode is going to discuss the generational gap between mothers and daughters. If you've read the last post, and I'm sorry, the post before last, because I just posted Jesus Loves Me Part 1 Dad. We're going to talk about that next week. But if you did read it, you know that it was my first traumatic experience. And at maybe 36, the beginning of 2020, I really started to focus on this incident. And I started to realize that it played a major factor in the woman I had became. I am no longer. Praise be. But it was nerve-wracking to share because still a small piece of me was just like, ooh, you just telling all your girls' business. But in actuality, this is my experiences, this is my life, and this is what I've gone through, and it's very necessary for me to tell my story, because I know there's other people out there that have maybe even similar situations, or maybe more emotional trauma, more violent situation. I mean, whatever the situation is, we have got to start having these conversations. And for me, my blog, writing in my journal, and now this podcast is my way of having conversations. Now, I might be sharing the story with everyone, but to be honest, I feel like I'm talking to myself. So if you happen to be listening, honey, don't think I'm crazy if I respond back, because I'm gonna just say I'm talking to you. But I'm here, and you know what? This journey has required me to walk through fear. It was demanded of me to humble myself, strip myself naked, and really be exposed. So starting with that blog post, that was major for me, and even major for my daughter. So she will be my first guest on this episode. Now, we pre-recorded our discussion we had merely because it was extremely personal. I didn't know how it was going to go, and I thought it was important that we had that privacy to have that conversation. So I didn't do it live, but I do anticipate on doing lives in the future. So let's get started while I find my lash, and if I can't remove this off my face because it's annoying me, I'm going to show you my first clip of my daughter and I discussing how she felt about her mom just telling all the business, having a blog in general. I'll be honest, at first, I did not want her ass to read it. I was almost, I don't know if I wanted her to see me like that. But I'm really glad I changed my mind, because not only has this blog changed my life, it's changing my bond with my daughter You'll see it on this clip. Check it out. Starting off with the blog in general. I told Kaleiah about the blog when I first decided to do it, only because, well, one, because I wanted to be transparent. At first, I told her, don't read my blog.
Yeah.
At first, I was like, don't read it. And then I had to go back and really check myself about that, because why not? I think it's important she knows what I've been through. And it may answer some of her questions as to how I respond to certain things, which it has. Like, our relationship has grown so much due to this blog. So just to get started, let's talk about how when I first started the blog and I was just like, okay, fine, read the blog.
Mm-hmm.
What did you take from it when you just started to read the first few posts, and like, how did it make you feel?
So when I read the few posts, to be honest, like, I was really confused, because that's not what I saw in my daily life. I saw my mom really opening up, and I saw her real self. Other than a mom, I saw her as a human being, which is what she is. She's not just a mom. And and while reading it, I really saw that, especially with the intro. It really helped me understand what the blog was going to be about, understanding my family's tree, my family's trauma, our past lives, whatever we've done, and what's gotten us here now, talking about it, trying to open up.
Do you feel, before I started to post the blog, let's talk about that. Like, before I posted the blog, how would you say our relationship was?
Our relationship was kind of off and on.
Okay.
So, like, we got along some days, and some days we were just, I don't know, like,
surviving in the same house.
Yeah, we were just surviving in the same house. I knew my mom, but I don't know her as much as I do now. Now I know her personality more, and I feel like I really know you more in depth than I used to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what's it.
So what would you say, like, something profound that you read in the blog that was just kind of like, oh, that's why? Or was there a moment in the blog where you're just like, that makes sense?
When you talk about, like, Nana being like a crutch, so to speak, it really helped me understand why sometimes you need a break to yourself, because you had Nana to help you here, mm-hmm. and to get you through certain things, but now that she's gone, may she rest in peace. We
love you.
We love you. But now that she's gone, it's hard going through things by yourself without knowing you could talk to someone.
Right.
And you really, kept it closed in the blog to help you express that.
Yeah. Y'all know I gotta intervene. I'm almost ready. I'm almost done getting dressed, but I had to stop really quick and just say, she read my blog and she liked it. And let me tell you, as a mother who is working on herself and really trying to be a positive impact, it's so amazing to know that I am impacting my daughter, and like, she's intrigued by me. I'm her influence. It's pretty dope. We started to delve a little bit deeper and talk about relationships. I mean, the whole point of this blog. She read my post and saw how I was impacted by my mother's relationships, and unfortunately, my relationships impacted her too. And this is the first time Kaleiah and I will be speaking about this ever. I think we tried to talk about it before, but communication on both ends was a work in progress. But we're here now, and we had a discussion. So check out this next clip. It was hard for me to watch, but I'm glad we had it. Check it out. Let's talk about, like, maybe a first instant you remember.
I remember it very vividly, surprisingly.
Really?
I don't know if it's right or not. I don't know if this was like a dream or something. But I do remember one day I was in preschool, and we went across the street where there was a park, and we had a picnic.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband, my stepfather, was there with us, and we all had a picnic. And I think that's when he asked.
So, I love you. So that's funny that she brought that up, because Okay, so the day I was supposed to get engaged, it was, it wasn't ideal. So, the plan was I was supposed to grab Kaleiah. We were going to meet at a park and we were going to do this as a family, right? Um, and it's just interesting that you remember that day because that day was very difficult for me. We went to the park. We had pizza.
That is true.
We had
remember.
pizza.
Yeah.
And he didn't show up.
Oh, he didn't.
He didn't show up. And so Kaleiah and I ate the pizza. I took her back to school. I went back to work. And like, it wasn't that he didn't show up. It was just that he was running behind or something. And then later on, proposed to me like an hour or so later. But it's just interesting. So how did that impact you? Like, why do you think that's something that you just remember?
I don't know. Honestly, so the preschool that I went to, we had nap time, and I remember that we would always have lunch together. So I thought it was a normal day, but you know, we're just gonna go have like a mini picnic, so to speak. And I remember we eating pizza, and I could tell that you just weren't happy. I mean, like, I may have like when usually I can tell when you're happy because back then we had a really strong connection and relationship. So I could tell when you weren't happy. I just didn't know why, or I didn't fully understand it. Again, I was 4, but I could see it in my mom's face that she wasn't happy, but she tried to look happy for me. So,
oh my God, that kind of breaks my heart. I didn't want to cry with this, but you know what, Kaleiah? You are absolutely right. I wasn't. And I think it was just more so, again, things that were just passed down. I was in a place where my mom didn't seem very proud of me. It was just kind of like, you were just going and doing this and that. You need to just build a stable foundation. I think in that moment, it was more so for me like, this is the best thing because it's going to provide me stability. So just knowing that you saw that in me is just crazy because I remember that day and I wasn't.
Like, we used to live in an apartment, and I remember that there was a baby, the 5-month, my stepsister, and I just remember us all hanging out, and like we used to have so much fun. And in this little apartment, you could feel a family growing, but I felt like as I got older, it started to break off kind of, especially between me and my mom, and the semi bond that I created with my stepfather slowly drift, and I kind of felt like I was in a bubble.
Okay, wait. Pause really quick. Let me open up this window because we need some light, honey.
I kind of felt like I was in a bubble as my stepsister got older and we moved into this house here. I felt like my mom and I had drifted apart. Like, it wasn't like so far that we could never come back to each other. It was just like so distant that I didn't see her as I used to.
So do you feel like in that moment that I stopped giving you my time and attention and I started focusing on my marriage or your stepsister? Like, how did you, like, what did you feel? Did you feel like you were on the outside? Because when my mom met my stepdad, that was really hard for me because I know this might be different because you never saw your dad and I together, but I saw my mom and dad together. So for me, it was challenging to see her with someone else, especially someone I didn't know. And it just happened very, very fast. Do you feel like you had time to get to know him, my ex, and kind of develop a relationship? Or do you feel like there was never even a chance for a relationship?
I don't know. I think I forcefully shut him out because I used to have this dream that one day my dad would just come back and we'd all be a happy family. And that's a dream that I had for a really long time because I didn't understand and I didn't let my stepfather in and I didn't let anyone in because I knew that one day my dad would come back and he'd come here, baby. And he'd take us in and we'd be a family together. And that I looked at my stepfather like he was the wedge that was breaking my parents apart. And I always imagined my dad coming back. But now that I'm older, I see that they're happy, and I don't want them to get back together because they're happy. They're happy with how they are now and whoever they're with. And I'm glad for them, and I don't want them to get back together because they're happy, and I'm happy for them.
Girl, we ain't never getting back together. No, but you know what, Kaleiah? That's actually really good that you're letting that out. Be glad that you were able to voice that now, and I'm glad that you see that for your dad and I, us being friends is the best option for us. We've always been friends. We've always been solid as friends, and our love for each other is dope. You know what I mean? But relationship wise, for me, I need you to understand that I probably could have been a little bit better at making sure that the relationships in the home were actually developing, and that you were getting the time and the attention that you needed, because I think it's a lot when you bring another person into a situation that already has a foundation. I do think that it can be successful, but there has to be conversations about this. When you have a blended family, kids have feelings, their feelings matter, and they need to be discussed. And I think we had a few conversations.
Yeah.
But at that time, again, I think you were so fearful of me that you wouldn't really truly open up, because that's the first time you told me that.
Yeah, that was just like a fairy tale that I would have blocked people out. That's why I used to always have headphones on. Just like,
you did.
If I wanted to listen to music or something to not make me think about anything, I would block it out. But going back to relationships, me and my dad are really, really, really close together, and that fantasy was really what I thought about all the time. And me and my stepfather, I could see that he was trying, but I didn't let him in. So it was both of us in the situation. We didn't let each other, well, I could see he was trying, I just didn't want to let him in. I would say I'm a very close person. I don't like to get too close to someone if I feel that they're negative, or I don't feel like they're going to be in my life for so long. And that's what I felt with him. I didn't feel like he was someone that I wanted to go to. He didn't give me the sense of security that I did with my dad, so I kind of shut him out as a quote-unquote father figure.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I felt like was the issue with our relationship.
You're so smart. I love
you too.
Y'all see who I'm raising? She's amazing, and I'm just grateful to be her mother. I'm almost stressed, y'all, but it took a lot to rewatch that. I mean, I'm so grateful that we're in this place, but to hear her words and to actually see her grieve about that was a first. And I'm just happy that we were able to speak about it. And again, this is why this journey is so important. It's so important for not only me, but for my children. This has affected us. My behavior has affected them. And this is why it is time for change. I am wide awake. I see what's going on, and I understand that not only am I responsible for making sure I'm happy and making sure that I'm great, but I'm also responsible for the impact that I'm providing on my kids. Meaning the people I surround myself with, the person I choose to share the rest of my life with, all of it matters. That's why this blog is allowing me to I wouldn't say expose, just to be able to grieve, to talk about it, to heal, to move forward. This is huge for my family. We've taken some blows. I've personally have stripped myself. Trust me, there's so much more to come. I have been humbled beyond my imagination, but let me tell you something. I'm ready for any and everything. I accept full responsibility of all of my actions in my past, and all I can do is move forward and be great. And I must say, I'm doing a damn good job because my daughter, though, amazing. This is our last and final clip, but we ended on a note of just understanding each other, loving each other, but most of all, continuously evolving. And Kaleiah, I know you watching this because you are my number one fan. I love you, and you are my rock, and you are the reason why I will continue to go, because it's me and you forever, and I'm always going to be your mom, and I want to make sure that I leave something for you that is unforgettable. Mwah. You were just, all I ever wanted to do was just make sure that I was always a good example for you, and that I was leading my life in a way that you can see that, you know, it was beneficial. It was, okay, this is a good woman, but all of that in the past was a hurt woman that you were seeing. You're watching a woman try to figure things out who had no fucking, oh, excuse me, whatever, no fucking idea of what she wanted out of life, or who I was to myself. Now with my blog and you being able to really see inside of me and understand a lot of my reactions and my emotions, I hope that it just continues to open a door for you and I to grow and be better people, have a good relationship, but be good women, and that we never stop talking and just constantly keep having conversations.
Yeah.
Don't make me fucking cry.
This is the sad part of the podcast.
It's sad because it's not sad. It's more so because, if I'm being honest, I wish that I was able to have this opportunity with my mom. I wish that I was able to, like, we talked, don't get me wrong, we would talk, but I never was able to truly express myself the way I'm able to talk to you and the way you're able to talk to me. And it's unfortunate because a mother's love is just one of a kind. And my mom gave me love, but I really wish that we had a little bit more of a relationship to where I felt that I could actually really be transparent with her and really tell her all the assumptions I had. And so she could reassure me that I am not any of those things I assume myself to be. And it's like I needed her reassurance, and I never asked for it. I never spoke to her about it. So if there's anything that I would say to you, that I would want you to know, is that I am here, and I know that it can be scary trying to talk to your mom because you're like, oh my God, I'm getting in trouble. I'd rather you remove trouble from your mind and look at it as, let me be your source of comfort. Let me be your source of advice, your source of strength, because I believe in you and the person that you are. And I don't want you to look at me and be anything other than you. Because I looked at my mom and I was like, I got to do this, I got to do that. Don't do that. Because there's only one Denise and there's only one Kaleiah. And I for damn sure want to know who Kaleiah is. Okay?
Yeah.
I want to know all about you and support you and just continue to uplift you and guide you. So please, if there's anything just from this blog and my Jesus Love Me post, if there's anything that you take away from it, I hope that you take away that there is no closed door with us. You know what I mean? We can talk about anything. We can handle it together. I'm gonna ride with you no matter what. I'm gonna support you, and I just want to be sure that if anything was to ever happen to me, that you know that our relationship was solid, and you know how I felt about you. You know who I was as a person, and that you could continue your life being sure of yourself and never doubting that, because that is what I've struggled the most with from not having Nana around. So you're amazing. I love your ass. All right.
You want to ask, or, well, I think you guys should really read the blog. Though I think it's a telenovela, it's not. It's really.
She does think my blog is a novella. She thinks I am just. And I'm looking at her like, girl, this is my life.
I know. It's our family's history. It's how we got to this point here, how we're talking to you now about these situations. So please go learn about our family history. Go learn about
your family history.
Your family history, how you can get past your own traumas, how she's getting past her traumas, how I'm getting past my traumas, how everyone is. And, stay safe.
Stay safe, guys. Well, there you have it. I've been sitting here for the last 3 minutes trying to get this to zip up on my own, and the life of a single woman. For real, though. Episode 1 down. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is emotional. This was not easy. But I am so glad, and I am truly grateful. I am truly grateful that this is my purpose. I am truly grateful that God chose me. And I promise to not let you guys down. More content to come. More podcasts to come. More blog content to come. More cute little dainty shit to come. Hood Intentions is going to be... I hope y'all ready.